It's day 2 of Computex 2026 and we're here at Dell Alienware's booth where we're checking out their latest exciting new monitors. We've got the 39-inch ultrawide that I know you're all dying to hear more about. Glossy, 5K, 2K, RGB-stripe, more on that in a moment. They've also got over here their new 34-inch ultrawide QD-OLED monitor, 5th gen panel, really exciting stuff. They've also got a couple of other screens, some LCD models, but the 2 new OLEDs are obviously the key announcement. Let's go and check those out right now. This is one of the models at Computex 2026 that I know you've all been waiting for. It's the new Dell Alienware AW3926QW. It's their brand new 39-inch ultrawide 5K 2K tandem WOLED screen with a glossy screen coating and an RGB subpixel layout. There's some major surprises there for the 39-inch space. I know a lot of you have been asking about a glossy panel since these were originally launched and announced earlier in the year. Here it is from Dell Alienware, providing a really super sharp and clear image. We'll look forward to testing this out in full when we receive it, but we can confirm it is glossy as we reported on originally. Now, Dell have opted to take a slightly different LG Display tandem WOLED panel from the panel manufacturer than we've seen in competing models. They've opted to take a version with an RGB stripe subpixel layout. So that means the white subpixel has been removed, which helps improve text clarity and text rendering and eliminates any remaining text problems that you might face on this screen. So that makes it even more suited to office and general applications, as well as, of course, gaming and multimedia, where OLED really excels. So it's got an RGB stripe layout and a 1500R curvature. It's aimed at multi-purpose usage, so it's got a wide range of connectivity, DP 2.1 with UHBR 20 speeds, HDMI 2.1 of course, and USB Type-C with 90 watts power delivery. It's also got a KVM switch function, picture-in-picture, picture-by-picture. So the idea being that you would be connecting multiple devices to the screen in theory, and you've got all of those modern monitor features to support that. In terms of HDR performance, despite the removal of the white subpixel and the shift to an RGB layout, it's still got a 1300 nits peak brightness, 300 nits full screen, 300 nits to SDR, and is certified under the VESA Display HDR 500 True Black tier. So it still offers decent brightness despite the removal of that white pixel. And we believe this is achieved relative to the 32-inch model that is a smaller form factor, but with the same pixel density. We believe this is achieved thanks to the larger screen size. There's more space to dissipate the heat. It can stay cooler. They've really managed to optimize the brightness, considering they've removed the pixel that was responsible for a lot of the brightness boost originally. So RGB stripe, improving the text clarity, improving the image quality, but not sacrificing brightness too much compared with the RGWB version. In terms of refresh rate, the screen supports a 165Hz native refresh rate at 5K 2K mode and a dual mode function that allows you to double that to 330Hz when dropping to a 2560 by 1080 resolution. So you've got that choice for certain faster gaming situations if you want to go for a higher frame rate and higher refresh rate. Maybe the most impressive thing of all, though, is the price point. Frankly, I'm pretty shocked at this, but Dell are targeting a launch price of $1,099 US. So that's a crazy, brilliant price for a screen of this type. 39-inch, 5K 2K resolution, RGB stripe, glossy screen coating, $1,099 US. I can't wait to test this one out myself later in the year. It should be released during H2 at some point. We haven't got a firm date. It's still being finalized. As soon as we know more, we'll of course let you know. And we'll hopefully be featuring a full review of this later in the year. So there you go, the AW3926QW. A really impressive new screen. Can't wait to see more of that. This is Dell Alienware's second OLED monitor that's being launched this week at Computex 2026. It's the AW3426DW. This one is a 34-inch ultra-wide QD-OLED monitor built around the latest 5th gen Pentatandem QD-OLED panel technology. Now, this is actually Dell's third generation, their own generations of monitors of this size with an OLED panel. The original was the AW3423DW that you'll probably remember. That was actually the first original OLED desktop monitor produced by anybody. So this is their third generation, and it offers a range of updates and improvements in both specs and features compared with that original model. and a load of the latest QD-OLED developments that we think are going to be really interesting to a lot of people. This model has still got a 3440 by 1440 resolution. It's got a 280 Hz refresh rate, so that's a boost from the original 175 Hz from the original model, and the 240 Hz that was available on last year's model as well. But more importantly, it's got an RGB-stripe subpixel layout. So shifting from the triangular layout that previous QD-OLED panels of this size had, they've shifted to a vertical stripe. And that gives improvements in text clarity and text rendering and removes the fringing problems that plagued earlier 34-inch ultrawide panels. So there's a major update there in terms of the pixel layout. The 5th gen panel from Samsung Display also includes their quantum black film coating, which helps improve reflectance by 30%, reducing the purple tint that you get on older generation panels in brighter room conditions and improving the black depth and contrast. We've seen that on quite a few 2026 panels from Samsung Display already, and it's a really nice enhancement to this year's model. HDR brightness has also improved. This time it's got a 1300 nits peak brightness, so a 30% improvement over previous models in Dell's range. It's got True Black 500 certification and 300 nits for full screen white, 300 nits for SDR, which is an improvement over the previous models as well. So you can expect a brighter SDR and HDR performance thanks to the new Pentatandem panel. There's support for multiple HDR formats as well, with HDR10 and Dolby Vision HDR supported. So you've got both options here on this screen, able to support modern devices like an Xbox Series X, for instance, or streaming devices from Netflix and so on, where Dolby Vision HDR is used. Connectivity-wise, there's DisplayPort 1.4, two HDMI 2.1 connections, and then on the bottom edge of the screen there's also a USB-A data port and a USB-C data port with 15 watts power delivery. This one doesn't have a USB Type-C with video connectivity or a KVM switch like the 39-inch model does, but it still has picture-in-picture and picture-by-picture support for handling multiple video inputs at once. The screen still has the standard semi-glossy finish of QD-OLED technology, so a glossy appearance, super sharp and clear image, but retaining some decent anti-reflective capabilities compared with what you might call a full gloss solution. It's still glossy, it still offers all the benefits of glossy. It just reduces the glare and reflections that you might get otherwise. The screen includes a 3-year warranty that includes burn-in cover as well, and it's due to be released in July 2026 globally, and we're told that it should retail at a price of $799 US. That's the current expected price. We've actually received the screen ourselves as well, ready for a full review when we get back from Computex 2026. So look out for that around the time of its launch. It will give you loads more information, testing and data, help you decide whether this is the new screen for you. So there you go. That's all of the latest news from Dell Alienware from Computex 2026. Some really exciting new screens. Definitely looking forward to checking it out later in the year. We'll have a review of the 34-inch model in the very near future once we've returned and caught up. That'll be ready for when it goes on sale. Check that out if you want to know, obviously, a lot more about it. Still loads more to come from Computex this year, so don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all of our coverage and everything else going on. Keep an eye on our tracker on our website as well, our dedicated Computex 2026 tracker, where you can keep up to date on all of the news, coverage, articles, everything else that's going on. Really super busy week, but lots to keep an eye on our website. Anyway, thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.